Hello, Joy. Happy birthday. Hi there. So it's me, Sinead, from Sinead Hannah Crack, YouTube and all my various channels. Your lovely husband, Barry, got in touch with me and asked me if I would be willing to do a birthday video for you, because I know it's your birthday on the 12th of October. I'm delighted to do so. Barry sent me some lovely messages about you, that you're a fan of the channel, that you like the books that I recommend and the information that I share on there. And thank you so much for being a subscriber. Thank you for following my silly little videos. And yeah, I'm just delighted to send you a message and wish you a really, really happy birthday. Barry told me a few things about you. I've seen your website where you do the metal work and the stuff with stones. Your work looks absolutely beautiful. I love that sort of thing. I know you're out in America, but all of the stone work that you're using and all of the stones that you have, I have sort of tumble stones and crystals and sort of those sorts of things all over the place. So it's really beautiful work. Congratulations on creating such lovely works of art. I know also that you were a really big fan of Shape of the Darkness by Laura Purcell. This is the hard copy. I found this in a charity shop. I've got all of Laura Purcell's books, but I was really lucky that I picked up a copy of this. Really glad that you like Shape of the Darkness. It's such a good story. I think it's sort of one of my favorites of hers. Silent Companions I go on about all the time. But I think Shape of the Darkness is so underrated because it deals with that fascinating world of the seances in Victorian England, and obviously the silhouette artists as well. Laura Purcell just has this way of putting so much wonderful history into her books. If you didn't know already, Laura Purcell, she started writing historical fiction and then she decided to move into gothic ghost stories and horror. So it sort of shows that she really does have the attention to detail in there. But this sort of world, I love that world. I'm fascinated by it because I know a lot of the history of Victorian England and Victorian London, because I do talk about crimes and weird things on my podcast, The Poisoner's Cabinet. And that world of seances, there are so many stories. The central story in Shape of the Darkness, true stories that inspired the book, that it came from. My sister does storytelling about it. There's lots of cases of these seance artists or these con artists really who would just manipulate people and sort of hold these big seances to con people out of their money. Of course, you know, it's a very sad business to be running because you're trying to convince people, oh, I'm in touch with your loved ones, and people who are grieving really want to believe and want to know about it. But what's also fascinating on the lighter side of that you may know about already, is that in Victorian London, they were just obsessed with death. There was this sort of, you know, it's been called a death cult in a while, or the cult of death that people followed. It's got different names through the time. But Victorian England in particular, and it sort of bled over to America as well, there was this fascination with spiritualism, this fascination with contacting the unknown, contacting the other side. And people of the highest of society believed this and would, you know, organize seances and would organize, you know, these huge events all around contacting the dead, believing they could speak to the spirits from beyond. It was like a parlor trick, but people really wanted to believe. I think a lot of people assume that seances and this sort of, you know, spiritualism was for, it was degeneratively called, like, you know, something for the lower classes, implying that the lower of intelligence, people without access to education, they would be the ones to believe. But it wasn't. It was the allegedly most educated, highest members of society who really wanted to indulge in that. And there's so many books about Victorian society, all about the different practices of spiritualism. I'm trying to think, like, I don't think I have any non-fiction books on spiritualism specifically. I've read lots in my past, but I don't think I've got any on my shelf right now. But anything, if you just get anything from Victorian London or the Victorian society, you'll see that's the element of spiritualism. If you want more book recommendations as well on that theme, first of all, just if you want some non-fiction, I've got a couple on my shelf here. This is Black Phillip, by the way. Love him. This is a really good one. This often shows up in my videos. Bitten by Witch Fever. This is actually the history of poison in the Victorian household and the poisons that were used in wallpaper that William Morris famously used. And it's also the history of poison, how people wielded it, how it was so accessible in Victorian England. and before that as well, and this spate of poisonings that happened, but also how it was used in fashion, how it was used in the home, the colors it produced. It's a really great book, and it's a really particularly beautiful book as well. I've also got the League of Lady Poisoners there, and that should be available in the US quite easily because it was by a US author, and that is a great book if you ever want to delve into true crime stories about lady poisoners. Wonderful subject. Other books that I'd recommend, if you like the seance elements of The Shape of the Darkness, then I would really recommend My Darling Dreadful Thing. You may have heard me mention that before. It's by an author called Johanna van Veen, and she is, oh God, it's gone out of my head. She's Scandinavian. No, she's Dutch. She's Dutch, excuse me. It is written in the English language. My Darling Dreadful Thing deals with seances and deals with spiritualism, but is this chilling ghost story, but it's a love story as well. It is a sapphic love story, and there are sapphic scenes in it as well. It gets a little bit spicy at points, but it's not a spicy book. It's just a brilliant gothic ghost story, and very chilling, very unsettling, very sad in parts. I really recommend that book. Johanna van Veen is a wonderful author if you like that kind of gothic take on things, as well as anything else by Laura Purcell. Really, if you can get on the Laura Purcell train and you can read the rest of her books. Obviously, I love The Silent Companions. House of Splinters, the follow-up to that, which is actually a prequel, is out in February, I think, in the US over there, or it's over there. I do think you are actually in the US based on everything I've seen. Maybe you're in England, I don't know. But yes, any of the other Laura Purcell books, they will be well worth your time. She's a wonderful writer to invest in. As well, I also always recommend Sarah Waters, who is a great historical fiction writer. She wrote Tipping the Velvet. Tipping the Velvet was famously banned in some places because it is, again, another sapphic story, and it's the history of sort of lesbian relationships. It's a really interesting piece of history. But she wrote the brilliant book The Little Stranger, which is a ghost story, and it's chilling, but it's such a beautiful book and really, really well written if you like that historical style. She's done quite a few books that are just wonderful. Those are some recommendations off the top of my head, but I will leave you to enjoy your birthday. Have a wonderful, wonderful birthday. Have a lovely time. I hope you're being spoiled. I hope if you're going out, that you're going to somewhere suitably spooky, or if you're staying home, you're doing something suitably spooky for your birthday with your loved ones. Thank you again for your support and for following me, and happy, happy birthday. Have a wonderful day and do incredible spooky things all month. I will speak to you soon, or I will see you soon through the screen that I do things. I don't know how to end videos, clearly. Love you.